Hey guys, so I don't know if you recall the other day, I was out and I bought some tackle boxes, so I thought I'd go through these live and see what there is. So let's see what we've got. Since I have to kind of do this anyway. We'll see, there's all kinds of stuff in here. I don't know really the first thing about fishing. I've been fishing once in my life. I did catch something though, which was pretty good. I did catch a fish before, but let me just bring this up here. Hey guys. So I am just looking at these tackle boxes full of stuff. I don't know if there's any fishermen or ladies or fisher people out there. Yeah, this stuff is, apparently the wood ones are pretty good. Hey guys. I'm gonna try and set that up so you guys can see. So from what I understand, generally the wooden ones are a little bit better, hey? You guys, anybody fish out there? And yeah, is it just me or does that look like a happy fish? Like little does he know, like I guess if you're gonna be another fish and attack something, you may as well eat the thing that looks the happiest, right? So yeah, they have funny little names on them too. Yeah, some of them, like this one's called the Spin or Orno. There's like the Festive Wiggler, I don't know. There's got to be a whole other side job just naming fishing lures and tackle. I think that'd be a great job because they always seem to have really ridiculous names. I was at the Air Museum the other day and they had an airplane called the Wichita Wiggler. I think that would be a great name for some lures. If I had a lure, I would call it the Wichita Wiggler, not an airplane. So yeah, I just thought I'd take a chance to jump back on and say hi and see how everybody's doing. It looks like today's kind of a quiet day at the shop, so I have a couple moments like this, and I'll probably have to log off if somebody walks in the door there. But apparently I'm missing a really good antique sale. There's a lady whose mom passed away and left her house full of, she estimates like 20 to 30,000 antiques. And what am I doing? I'm sitting in my shop just waiting for stuff to walk in the door. I might have to go check that out after work today and see if there's anything cool out there. Yeah, especially, but it's a big thing, it's in the news, so it'll probably be picked over pretty good. Yeah. On occasion I have guys just walk in the store too, and they'll bring me things and ask if I want to pick anything out of their suitcase or their bags that they've picked up along the way. Oh, Panama Red, you're asking, the ladies' Rolex, was it real? Yeah, it was actually. I took it in, it wasn't working, the mainspring in it was broken, but actually it's probably fixed right now, which I should probably call them and find out if they have it done. They're lovely people. They don't speak a lick of English. It's, you know, we basically just like, I've learned a little bit of Mandarin just so I can communicate. Mind you, so they speak Chinese, which is awesome. It's in Chinatown. I take my watches to. Lovely people, wonderful people. They always give me like little cookies and stuff whenever I go in. But the last time I was in, the husband, he never says anything. I assumed he didn't speak any English. And then he gets up and he says, I'm going out for lunch. I'm like, wait a minute. Not only do you speak English, you spoke a whole full sentence of English. This whole time I've known them for like 5 years. And I guess he's just not a chatterbox. But yeah, hopefully it's done. I was going to give them a call and see if they're done. There's not too many people around that work on old watches, and they're not afraid to get into the crazy old stuff either. So I'm gonna give these guys a call. This company is called Taiwan. This isn't a plug, they're not paying me or anything, but the nice people. Hey, it's Alex calling, just seeing if my little, it's Alex from Curiosity Inc. It's Alex. It's Alex, the guy, I come in all the time and bring watches to you from the antique store. I go there all the time. Yeah, I'm just phoning to see if my watch is ready.
What kind of watch?
It was the ladies' tutor, the little, I've got my number here.
Lady tutor.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, it's Alexei, yes.
Okay, your lady tutor.
Yeah, there, now you know who I am. Okay, do you want the number off of it? Do you, you know? Okay. Yeah, that's it. I can pick up?
Yeah, you can pick up.
Okay, great, I'll see you guys. Yeah. I said to go ahead and fix it.
So,
Yeah.
250.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair. It's,
Yeah. You can pick up. Okay.
okay, I'll see. Maybe I'll come by after work today. You guys are there until 6?
Today until 6:30.
Okay, great. We'll see you after work.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
That's you can. I've been going there for 5 years, and I say, hey, it's Alex, and she's like, who? But she always calls me Alexa, like I've got some kind of extra, vowels and stuff at the end of my name. But either way, it sounds like my watch is done. But yes, to answer your question, long story short, the watch sounds like it's done, and they actually do really good work. So I'll go pick that up. It was nice because it was what they call it was a, oh my goodness, I'm having a complete mental blank. It was in a proper Rolex case and everything with a screw down crown. So that was a good find. That's the one I found at the bottom of the box. What country do I live in? Canada. I live in Canada. So sometimes I'll say things and people who are in the US will usually call me out. Like in the States, they call decals, like a little sticker you put on something, they call it a decal. Here we call it a decal. And anytime I say it, I have one guy that always writes me, and if you're watching, you'll know, he always says, "Oh, call it a decal," but you grow up saying it one way, and I guess you get used to it. But yeah, if somebody really needs me to say a decal, I know how to do it. It's just not how I normally talk. I think when I say garage too, people usually get thrown off when you say garage. I don't know how else. Carriage house, perhaps. Maybe I should say carriage house from now on, and then people will say, he must live in a fancy house if it's a carriage house. But I guess any garage could be a carriage house if you put a carriage inside of it, really. Now I've got that little train inside my garage right now, so I guess it's a train house. Maybe I'll call it a roundhouse. Yeah. So today, now I have to go after work and pick up a watch, which hopefully I'll get fixed pretty soon. I still have a bunch of little antique tins and stuff that I picked up. Hey, Robert, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We're just talking about oil cans, and you guys are like the home of oil in Pennsylvania. For whatever reason, on all these old oil cans, they were really, like, to be associated with Pennsylvania was a big deal. So we'd have Canadian brands that would call themselves, like there's one over here called Hot Pen. Well, that had nothing to do with Pennsylvania. They just thought that they'd throw the pen on there so people would think it's quality. But I don't know, do people still think of Pennsylvanian oil the same way that they did back then, or is it completely different now? I think cheesesteak. When I think Philadelphia, I don't think oil. Maybe I should think oily cheesesteak, and then that would be, extra appetizing and something that would draw people into Philly. But yeah, back in the day, Pennsylvania, that's where you got all your oil from. I'm sure it's probably, pretty known for that now too. Do I ever find any vintage fishing poles, Charlene, at Indiana Fishing and Gambling? Fishing and gambling, isn't every time you go fishing gambling? Because you never know if you're going to catch something. Let's see. Yeah, well, I've got all the tackle and stuff. The guy bought these. Look, if you're in the fishing business, have I got a deal for you? The guy I got these tackle boxes from actually does have some old rods and reels and stuff too. I was looking at the one box here, and I haven't even looked at this yet. There was one reel, and I don't know if you're in the fishing business, maybe you know this brand. Bronson Dual Star Drag Level Winding Casting Reel. Is that anything good? You can tell me, because I don't know. Looks like there's some flies in here as well. And there's the reel. It's real. It's a real reel. So like I said, I know a bit about fishing. Like I know generally the wooden ones are pretty good. Panama Red has an old fishing pole to sell. And not an old pole like an old Polish person, but a fishing pole. I guess if you're Polish and you go fishing, you are a fishing pole. I'm part Polish, so I guess in the time I went fishing, I would have been considered a fishing pole. Yeah, so Charlene, I do come across old fishing poles every now and again. But depending upon where you're located, it might be a difficult thing to ship. I don't know what the good ones are, if they're bamboo or whatever, you never know. Yeah, thanks Panama Red, too funny. The Polish thing, I was joking with a friend of mine, and he was Polish too, and we drove past a bar, and I said, anybody's ever been upset and gone into a bar that said pole dancing, and it was just a bunch of Polish people like, yeah, come on in, the party started. It would be horrible advertising. Yeah, I don't know. I did the DNA test a while back, and even though my mom's side is all Eastern European, I guess I'm mostly English, so I might do a trip over to England this year and go visit some dead relatives, I guess, and the cemeteries. I don't think I have anybody living over there anymore that's got the same name as me, but Northumberland bound I might be. Hey, this is for those fishing fans out there. I was going through this little book. I guess those would have all been hand ties. I mean, in any other circumstance, if you're opening a little book like this and you don't know that you're about to find a bunch of fishing lures, you might freak out and think that this book was infested with bugs. But the guy did a pretty good job, I would say, of making these little flies look pretty realistic. And this would have been probably his prize flies because he got them in the special little book here. But yeah, it's the thing, 3 generations of fishing gear, and then you get one kid that doesn't fish after that, and the stuff gets sold to a guy like me. But yeah, that's what we do. I'm gonna actually pick you guys up. I'm gonna pick your television and your phone and your iPad up, and I'm gonna carry you around right now, and I'm gonna take you through the shop. I'm gonna walk up to the front. See, yeah, if you can, we definitely have lots of oil cans. Oh, there's that. I got this at the antique show. That's the live steam train. We didn't know what gauge that was, and I guess it runs on standard gauge, which is the same as the old turn of the century stuff. Hey, Wayne in Perry, Georgia. Well, thanks so much for the comments, Wayne. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna work my way through. I never did do a video on that airplane. Right behind me, this airplane behind me is a de Havilland Beaver in 1/5 scale, all aluminum. And the story of it was that a guy owned a company that built de Havilland Beavers and actually repaired real airplanes. And whenever they had downtime, like I have right now, he would get his guys to build this little airplane. And he thinks he had like something like $12,500 invested in labor in that thing. Ugh. It's not what I paid for it. We've got $2,500 on it, but pretty neat thing though, either way. Okay, so I'm walking up the front. I have actually been buying stuff today too. So a lot of times people do walk in the store throughout the day, and I do pick stuff up. So today's finds, let me just come down here a little bit lower and tilt the camera. I bought this little Volkswagen Beetle pedal car. And what I like about it is it actually has hubcaps, like little Volkswagen hubcaps on it. It's metal. So if somebody's gonna do, I don't know, you can do like a little Herbie the Love Bug or something out of it. That'd be kind of cool. And over here, I've got the old pharmacy store counter. Dr. Scholl's Foot Comfort Remedies for all foot troubles. That was like fresh out of a barn today, so I had to take that thing into a car wash and wash it off because it was pretty gross. And you definitely don't want to buy a foot remedy cabinet that's really gross looking because it's already kind of a gross topic on its own, you know, with feet and dirtiness and all. But yeah, and it was a strange day. Like sometimes I'll have a day where it's a little quieter in the shop. I think today's quiet because it's beautiful outside. Panama Red looking for a 66 Volkswagen Bug bonnet. Well, I'm sure you'll find one of those. And the fact you said bonnet makes me think that you're English, perhaps, because you know, I think what is bonnet? Is that hood, if I'm not mistaken? Because the convertible top wouldn't be convertible. Like bonnet, I think, is the hood, right? Oh, Panama Red says no. Where are you, Panama Red? Perhaps Panama, and you're red. Yes, hood. There we go. So you remember this little wheelchair I picked up the other day at the museum? I don't even remember that or not. I went on that adventure, and I didn't do a whole lot of filming inside because the guy had some really killer stuff, like literally killer stuff. He had the mountain howitzer gun and real tanks and stuff. People will say, oh, he has a killer collection. This guy had like an actual killer collection. So I didn't want to have a whole bunch of, he didn't want to, you know, don't want to take a whole bunch of footage in there. But I got this old wheelchair from him, which is World War I. And yeah, the darn thing sold yesterday. I only had it like one day. It goes to show you never know what's going to sell in a day. You end up buying an old wheelchair from, you know, like a 100-year-old electric wheelchair, and that's the thing that sells. But retro old school. Oh, hey, how's it going? The Fargo truck. So the story on the Fargo truck, that was a pretty rare piece. That Fargo truck I picked up because I mainly had a customer of mine who was looking for one. So that was one of those things that I bought for the shop and then we sold on purpose. I would have liked to have kept it to restore, but yeah, I'm already working on a car and a boat right now. So that went to a really nice guy who's starting a museum, and it turns out that Fargo truck that I bought was one of one. They built 7 of those trucks total. If you haven't seen that video, I think I call it Fargo Fever or something like that. I don't know, I always come up with some kind of crazy title for these videos. But the Fargo was a 1957, and that thing, they built 7 of those Fargo swept sides total. That was the only one that had a push-button automatic transmission. The rest were all manual transmissions. So, of course, they tell me that after they buy it that it's one of one, but it's also going to require probably about $70,000, $80,000 to restore it because, well, it was pretty rotted. It had been sitting outside for a long time. But surprisingly, the motor in the thing was free, so at least it's got lots of potential. And it is fixable, and he will restore it, which is good to hear. So, any other questions about any other videos or anything? I mean, I'm here. This is live. This is, it's not just a random YouTube video. It's me just walking around my store right now. So, if you guys have any questions or want to chat at all before I log out today, just fire away in the comments there. I'm always happy to chat. And, yeah, as I'm walking around a little bit, yeah, we got the robots going on. One thing I don't talk about, too, is that the shop, we often get other collectibles and weird stuff. So, I had, and I'm dating myself now and I'm feeling old because I ended up buying these Mr. Bill, I don't know if you guys remember Mr. Bill from Saturday Night Live. There's a company that was remanufacturing the Mr. Bill action figures. Well, I shouldn't say action figure because the guy basically died in every episode. Anybody remember him? Oh no, Mr. Bill! Well, I bought a bunch of these things and yeah, somebody said, oh, I had never heard of him before. Yeah. Our store is called Curiosity Inc. Yeah, that's right, Wayne. Oh no, I like weird stuff too. Oh, the Zenith Transoceanic. Somebody, I can't remember. I must have walked past it just a minute ago. I still have it. I think I've got like 250 bucks on it, and it works too. The Luke Skywalker action figure. Yeah, he's hanging out. Actually, he's right by me here. He's right there. I don't think he's the super rare early one, but he does have the lightsaber that comes out of his arm, and you know, that came out of an estate actually. Sometimes I get calls to go over to houses that are kind of like, well, hoarders houses and stuff. So you go in and, you know, you try and dig through and find what you can. But for whatever reason, that guy had toys that were never played with. That was the Transformers and the Star Wars stuff. That was all like brand new, which was pretty cool. And I also got that big wheel up there too. See, look, I have the box. When was the last time you saw the 1970s box for the big wheel? That's not something you see every day. It's made by Mark's Toys too, and Mark's was cool. Hello, back to Mildred in Ohio. So, yeah, I'm kind of getting to a spot where I'm going to have to expand my shop out a little bit. We're running out of room, and I keep finding more and more big things to bring in the store, and running out of space. Well, I can't say your name, but somebody's asking if what a World War II British Army pouch is. I guess it depends on what it was for. The value in the World War II stuff really comes from knowing like who it was attached to and what their story was. A pouch on its own, I mean, there was a lot of soldiers, so there's probably millions of pouches and things like that. Where you get collectible with military stuff is when you get into medals, historical documents, things like that. So it's hard to say. And then condition and whose side it was on. People seem to spend more money for the German stuff, or you know, the Axis versus the Allies. So yeah, sorry, I can't give you exact price on that, but it's the sort of thing you have to just kind of do a little research on, which is usually what I do. I try and research most of this stuff before I put it out. Oh, thanks, Mildred. Yeah, we've got all kinds of stuff. I have another neon sign that's supposed to be coming in too. I'm kind of at the front of my shop right now. That's the little vintage Model T Speedster that I had built. I didn't build it myself, but have a guy that put it together for me. It's pretty cool. Wonder what the reliability has been like on the ambulance since I drive it often. Actually, I do drive the ambulance very often. The ambulance is one of those cars that has never let me down. The only problem I've had with it is, well, it's not really a problem, just the exhaust manifolds are, hey guys, the exhaust manifolds on the car have cracks, and I think I mentioned that in one of my videos. Like, I drove past somebody the other day and it's so loud. Then I set off a car alarm and I felt pretty bad about it, but it was still funny at the same time. It was like one of those things where you're like, oh my God, I set off somebody's car alarms, my car is so loud. I'm sure my neighbors want me to get the exhaust fixed too, but they don't actually make a manifold for my car anymore, so I have to get headers on it, which is kind of cool really to have an ambulance with headers. That'll be awesome. Oh yeah, thanks Wayne. Wayne's just mentioning that I took the girl and her mom and dad out well, actually, just a girl and her friend and her mom out in the old ambulance. That was just about a month ago or so, and it was all snowy and cold. So yeah, they saw me filling up for gas at Costco, and because that's the cheapest gas I can find. And I don't know if anybody's ever been to Hawaii, but Costco gas in Hawaii is like half the price of gas anywhere else. So it definitely pays to have that membership sometimes. So I'm at Costco filling up with gas, and this person comes up and they ask if I drive their daughter in the Ghostbuster car on her birthday. And I said, yeah, why not? Life's short. You know, if you can make somebody else happy and it doesn't really cost you much, why not? World War II Newfoundland volunteer medal. Yeah, $2.89 for gas. You know, mind you guys are by the gallon though, but that still sucks. We're I think like $1.30 a liter, and so you're still a bit cheaper than us, I think, when you tally it up. But yeah, I'm not liking it. Driving a Pontiac ambulance in any time of year is not great on gas, and right now especially, you have to really plan out your trips. I took a motorcycle into the shop the other day, and I use that for actually hauling bikes around. And I have a feeling that it's going to cost me, I would have been cheaper to almost hire a truck, because it cost me $100 to fill the tank on that car, and I've already used a quarter tank already. $2.99 where you are. Yeah, it's nuts when gas gets so expensive that it'd be cheaper to run your car on milk. There seems something wrong with that. Like, it'd be cheaper for me to have a cow hooked up to my car with like hoses coming off its udders straight into my engine, run my car off of milk than it would be off of gasoline. Like, what's going on? Yeah, $3.09 in PA. Yeah, it's making travel. And now you guys know why I have the Chevy HHR, and people are like, why would you buy that thing? Well, it's the only car I could find that looked kind of old-fashioned, and it was also the only car that I could get that was super good on gas. That thing, I even forget, like I go weeks on end and I forget to fill the car up with gas. It runs, well, I probably get like 1 or 2 weeks worth of driving out of it, which is pretty good considering how much I drive. When you guys see these YouTube videos, I am literally out like every single day buying stuff, selling stuff, and on the road. But yeah, so yeah, that's what I drove to work today. I'm gonna go outside to my little complex here. Sorry about the extreme close-up. There's a little HHR right there in my super green color. So they're not the, I'll be honest, they're not the prettiest car, but it is kind of cute, and especially with the hubcaps I put on. If you see those, the baby moon hubcaps, or these are full moon hubcaps, they make a big difference, because the standard hubcaps are kind of boring. In fact, I don't know why the designers made that car. Yeah, Slimer green. It is kind of Slimer green. I should have called it Slimer. It would have matched my Ghostbuster car. They make a car like that to look like it's from the 40s or 50s, and then they paint them like metallic silver, which is the same color as any normal minivan. But yeah, so I'm gonna I guess I have to go now. Let's see what's on the agenda today, and I don't know if I'll do a video of this or not. Oh, you guys hear that noise in the background? I don't know if you can hear that. That's my phone going off. We've actually never had that before. That's like one of those emergency signals that if you guys are in the US, like remember Hawaii sent one out and it freaked everybody out and they all evacuated the island? See, it says, let's see if I can hold it up there. Emergency alert, that's what I just got. So this is just a, like a practice one, it's a test one. I forgot that was happening. But yeah, if I didn't know that was happening, it'd probably freak you out because it sounds like a little mini air raid siren on your phone. Amber alerts, yeah, they use it for amber alerts, or well, you don't have tidal waves and stuff like that here. We're pretty landlocked, but we do get tornadoes every once in a while. In fact, back in 1987, there was a huge tornado that ripped through here, and I remember as a kid, and I was a kid in '87, that we went out the next day because I was in the basement just like reading Archie comics by candlelight and having a good time, while my mom was freaked out peeking out the window. Our neighbor's roof was ripped off their house. Like, you think I would have heard that? Like, you would think you would hear a roof. I don't know what a roof sounds like, but it was so windy, I guess you just walk out and your roof's gone. But yeah, so I guess those little alerts are pretty handy when they do happen. But yeah, so later today I picked up that watch that I found in the bottom of the box. It's fixed. It was $250 to fix it, 250 Canadian, so that's like $1.50 US, right? It was 250 Canadian to get the watch fixed, but that said, it's probably like a $600 watch now to the right person, $600. So considering I probably paid the equivalent of maybe $5 for it, you know, it's not a bad investment. You know, a lot of times actually people ask, like, what do you pay for things and what do you sell stuff for? And The reason I don't post a lot of that is that I'm more interested in the history of the object, but also I run a business, so if you're actively selling things and people know exactly what you paid for things, you kind of don't have much leverage when you're negotiating. If you're like, I paid $5 and I'm asking 20 for it, they'll be like, I'll give you $5.10. I think on the American Pickers and stuff like that, I think those guys have a little bit of leeway and a little bit of time before they have to resell. For me, these videos go up and the stuff will sell like the next day or the day after. So in some cases, I'll post the amounts and stuff there too. But I was going to see, I missed some comments here. I'm just going to make sure I catch it all. Oh, you thought the watch would be worth more than that? Yeah, well, you never know. Like it was a Rolex Tudor, which is a Canadian Rolex, so it's made by Rolex, but it's kind of doesn't have the same, you know, je ne sais quoi as a real Rolex. So if it was a real Rolex, it would be probably $1,500. But since it's made by Rolex and says Rolex on it, but it has the Tudor on the dial, it's probably worth about half that. Do I have Indian beer stuff? No, but I got this weird Excelsior porcelain sign, which is Belgian beer. I think it would have been a flange or something. So I did get that. I don't have it around me right now though, but yeah, it's just been a lot of finding cool stuff and putting cool stuff out and you know, trying to make things interesting around the shop. And hopefully making things interesting for you guys. And I keep putting these videos out, so if you ever have any suggestions of things you'd like to see, somebody wrote me the other day and said they want to see how to clean a porcelain sign properly. Yeah, I've got no problem doing that. I mean, porcelain's really durable, so it's you know, pretty easy process to clean porcelain. But if you ever have any suggestions or things you want to see, or adventures you'd like me to go on, please definitely put it in the messages, or you can send me a message yourself or whatever you want to do. Later this year, I'm actually going to a really cool auction. I'm going to a really big auction in Saskatchewan, and it was a museum, and they're selling off all their cars and motorcycles and parts and stuff. So I am going to do a video on that. I think it's going to be really exciting, and I love going to auctions. It's one of my favorite things to do. Somebody asked if I have old gas station stuff just now. Yeah, I got lots of gas station stuff. I got oil cans and signs. I try and carry the rare stuff, and when I talk about rare oil cans, like, you'd probably be surprised. Certain oil cans, we're gonna go on another little walk before I sign off here today. Some of these are Canadian companies that you guys might not have heard of. I mean, this is US, obviously oils them. Oop, where it is, right down there. But certain oil cans like this Buffalo can, if this was in better shape, this thing, like, I have $800 on it. This is potentially like a $2,000 can if it's mint. But you can see that the height's a little bit different. So somebody had rolled this out and used it as like roofing or something, and then somebody peeled off the roof to put a new roof on, and they went, "Ha, look, a bunch of old oil cans," and they had the foresight to keep the things and sell them to somebody, and I was able to get it turned back into a can. But these are all kind of a little bit more rare ones in here. La Huron, which has like the beautiful sort of Indian maiden, indigenous maiden on it. Redhead motor oil, Pioneer chainsaws, White Rose. This is a neat one too. This is the Purity Nurse. This was based out of Calgary, Alberta. What's neat, it's like a World War II nurse. Again, those cans in mint condition can be like $1,500 to $2,000. It's just nuts. People go crazy for oil cans, and we do have a lot that are like $20, $30, but the demand for oil cans and Petroliana or Automobilia, or however you want to call it, is really strong. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna log out now for this, and yeah, hopefully we'll do more live streams over the next few days. And maybe when I go out on some of these picks, I'll do a live adventure, a live video there too, so you guys can see, you know, maybe me like live in the action buying stuff, or who knows. So anyways, thanks. It was so good to see you guys all, and have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye for now.